My presentation will be based on the influence of the climate change in human-elephant conflicts by comparing the two national parks, one from Tanzania, which is Serengeti National Park, and the other one is from the Assam, which is Kaziranga National Park. Go to the next. The next is just the name of the presenter. The meaning of climate change has been discussed. We can go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. Maybe we come to, I have to talk a little about when we talk about the human-elephant conflict, this is a negative interaction between humans and elephants. And because it is a negative interaction, we know that wherever there is a negative interaction, there should be some impacts, which is maybe the loss of either an elephant or a human being. So when we talk of the human-elephant conflict, we are talking about the negative interaction between humans and elephants in the national parks. Continue. No, before before that slide. Yeah, there is an important point to note there that this negative impact or this human-elephant conflict is mostly, when you compare Asia and Africa, you find that it is mostly found in Africa and Asia. It is more dominant in Africa and Asia than maybe in other continents. According to some scholars, it is mainly caused by human activities, either encroaching to the national parks or to the reserved areas in the national parks, or because of population growth of elephants in the national parks. So they tend sometimes to encroach to the human settlements. The next slide. Why conflicts? The main issue I tried to discuss is about the influence of climate change. But even before discussing about the influence of climate change in human-elephant conflict, there are some causes of the conflicts, which includes weak land use planning, human population growth near the wildlife areas, unattractive compensation and mitigation systems. I mean compensation by the government to the people who live around the national parks. Sometimes they are chased away, or they are shifted, or they are reallocated from their settlement areas to other places, but their compensation is sometimes delays, or they are not even compensated. And also there is limited community engagement in compensation decisions. Those people who live around the national park, sometimes they are not involved in the decision making about their reallocation. Another slide. Shortage of food for the animals within the national parks sometimes necessitate the elephants to transfer to the people's settlements. There is habitat loss and fragmentation due to the agricultural expansion and infrastructure, poaching and ivory trade. The next slide. This is the national park in Tanzania, the Serengeti National Park. This is the largest national park in Tanzania, and it is in the northern part of Tanzania. Next slide. This is just the map indicating the location of the national park. Another slide. Another slide. Now, the historical background of the conflicts in the Serengeti National Park goes back to the east establishment. When it was established, some people were reallocated, were shifted by the government to other places in the sense that they have to leave the area for the national park. But as I have said earlier, that the compensation is sometimes people are not compensated. So they will find they develop hatred to the national park or to the elephants. Another slide. So why conflict now? This is because driven by competition for space and resources between the humans and the elephants, agricultural expansion along the national parks, changing land use and population pressure. As the elephant population grows, then the conflict arose between humans and elephants. Another slide. So the influence of climate change now in the conflict, in human-elephant conflict. How does climate change influence the human-elephant conflict? the rising temperature and the changing rainfall patterns, as we many have discussed about the issue of climate change. So when the temperature rises, you find that there are some, it causes droughts. So you find the elephants try to find maybe water for, they try to find the water or areas for purchasing and whatever. So it causes some conflicts. Or there is another slide. There is also habitat fragmentation due to human activities like agriculture and settlement pushing into conflicts between the humans and elephants. Another slide. Consequences destroy crops and human life, reduce elephant population. Another slide. This is the maize farm destroyed by elephants in Tanzania, in the Serengeti National Park. So you can find elephant destroyed the maize farm, leading to the loss of crops and the yield. Another slide. This is how to mitigate the conflicts between humans and elephants. Better land use planning, water and forage source management, community-based conflict mitigation systems. Another slide. Now let us see on the situation in the Kaziranga National Park. This is the largest national park in Assam. Studies indicate that. And it is a World Heritage Site of being cited by UNESCO, whereby over 70% of the world gritty rhinos as well as Asian elephants are there in Assam. Another slide. So Assam is severely affected by long-term human-elephant conflicts, with 400 people and 209 elephants killed between 2020 and 2023. You see there's a high number of killing, or high number of elephants have been killed. Another slide, because of time. Another slide. Another slide. The main causes. Sometimes the main causes are similar between the Serengeti National Park, the human conflicts in Serengeti National Park, and the human conflict in Kaziranga. As you can find, some causes are similar, like habitat loss and fragmentation, resource competition, electrocution from unsafe fences, and so on. Another slide. Another slide. Another slide. Another slide. No slide? So, because the technical bench is facing some difficulties, let me just maybe try to conclude that when you try to find out the level of human-elephant conflict between the Serengeti National Park and the Kaziranga National Park, you find that Kaziranga National Park is more affected by human-elephant conflicts compared to Serengeti National Park. However, statistics in the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania are limited. But the available statistics indicate that the Assam, the Kaziranga is more affected by human-elephant conflicts. However, the Assam government launched the Gaj Mitras scheme as an innovative scheme, an innovative technique or mitigation measures in the state. This scheme, it works by habitat restoration, rapid response team. It has formulated rapid response team, solar energy fencing, AR power monitoring system, and a community engagement by engaging people who live around the Kaziranga National Park with the essence of mitigating the human-elephant conflict. Therefore, it is true that within the national parks in many of Africa or Asian countries, there are human-elephant conflicts. And they need serious measures to make sure that both humans and elephant or animals live peacefully. Thank you very much.